Well, were you gonna start, or am I gonna have to carry the entire video again? I swear, having a collab channel with a hamster is the hardest thing in the world. What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It's time for a brand new episode of 7 on Sunday. I'm back from Cancun. It means that SOS is back as well. Today I'm giving back to you guys by talking about a subject that you've been asking for a long time. You're always wondering, John, what do you think of modern pop punk bands? Do you think some suck? Do you think some are great? And obviously the answer is yes. There's plenty that I think are just dime a dozen shit that I could listen to once and never be bothered to listen to again. But there are some that stand the test of time that I find myself coming back to. With that being said, today I am talking about my 7 favorite modern pop punk bands. And I realize that not all of these are straight up pop punk. In fact, that's why I like them a lot of the time. I would say that I like that they push the envelope with maybe some emo influences or some rock or some straight up punk. There are, of course, some bands that didn't quite make the list. Everything from Let It Happen to Knuckle Puck to 4 Year Strong. There are some out there that I do find very enjoyable that I just couldn't quite put on the list. And with all these bands, it's not like, oh, I'm obsessed with everything in their discography. It's just that I either find them very, very entertaining at surface level, appreciate their musicianship, or genuinely am maybe into the majority of the stuff that they've released. You'll see as the video progresses. Let's go ahead and kick off the countdown. Be sure to leave a like on the video today, and here's number 7. Step outside to have a cigarette. I got a decent amount of requests last year to talk about Cody by this band, but their new album didn't exactly attract a ton of attention, I guess, in my viewer base, so I'm slipping it into a video like this, so maybe you'll go and check them out. Cody is their most recent album. Joyce Manor is a band that's been killing it throughout the 2010s. Of course, the bands that I'm talking about on this list primarily took off after 2010, or else the majority of their stuff is coming out after that point, hence why I'm calling it modern pop punk bands. And with Joyce Manor, they're one of those bands that I think do lean a little bit more towards punk, and we've seen throughout their past few short bursts of albums, seriously, none of their albums are over 20 minutes, that they're capable of packing in some really cool storytelling and some just down-to-earth pop punk rock stuff throughout the course of a very short runtime. I think that's really cool that you can have an album that has songs that are just a minute long or else 2 minutes long, but they still tell a better story than some of the stuff that you will hear on modern radio. It's something that's excruciating, and if you need something to get away from that, I think Joyce Manor are a perfect outlet for that. I only wish that they had a little bit more material out there, because even with a few albums under their belt, they still don't have that much of a runtime to them. I mean, you compile all their albums together, they're still a little bit over an hour long. So hopefully Joyce Manor will put out something again soon. I highly recommend these guys. State Champs are clocking in at number 6 on my list. State Champs are a straight up pop punk band that really get back to the basics of what made it fun in the first place. I think pop punk succeeded in the early 2000s because there was a spirit about it of just ingenuity, but at the same time kind of a spirit of fun and just somewhere you could go, let loose, and feel related to, but at the same time it didn't bring you down, even though there were heavy subject matters sometimes. What I'm getting at is that State Champs are definitely taking from their influences, like maybe Sum 41, Blink-182, even Yellow Card, and putting out some really, really solid material. The Finer Things, their album that really kind of launched them, is something that I didn't get into for a while, but once it hit, it hit. And I think that Around the World and Back, their follow-up album to that, is something that really caught my attention even more. I actually did a review of it on my somewhat inactive blog, artvreviews.blogspot.com. If you're curious, I reviewed it a while back. Most people didn't think I actually reviewed it because I put it on my blog. I tried to link to it as much as I could, but still people felt like, oh, John, you skipped right on over State Champs. Well, here's me talking about them, praising them, saying that they have a great vocalist, some great musicianship as well, some very compact, concise, and well executed and played songs. I think that they are doing things right, and I can't wait to see what they do on their next record.
Don't know what we're doing this for. See, we're getting better while we're best out on the floor, and then we find a way to forget through the years. We wish the bad parts would just disappear.
Unfortunately, my next pick is not active. They're on hiatus as of now, but I had to include them just because I'm hoping that they get back together. I'm hoping they put out more music just because the stuff that we've heard so far is so good. Ordinary Silence is their most recent full length that dropped in 2013, and with songs like Ross Dirty Water, Bad Parts, and so many more just taking over my life for a while, it was an absolute whirlwind. I do hate that I never got to catch these guys live. I heard they put on a hell of a show. I believe my friend Spin It Reviews actually caught them at Warped Tour a couple of years ago, so I'm forever jealous of that. They have this really unique style about them, and I think it's very unique for the pop punk genre because they rotate between not only a male, but also a female vocalist, and I would love to see more of that in the genre. And no, I'm not talking about You Tonight Alive. I'm serious. I'm so sick of people talking about them like there's something special. Mixtapes are the band that you need, not Tonight Alive, because they actually have songs with a lot of heated subject matter, some stuff that reminds me of bands like Modern Baseball in a way, just because it feels like people who just got out of college or in college making music, talking about stuff that is very relatable and on the nose, kind of like Microwave did with their album Much Love last year.
Where I just let you go, let you walk away. Where I let you walk away.
To call you crook, called you abandoned. There ain't no other good damn reason why my heart it would go missing for so many months. So I was wishing that you would stop pretending.
Prepare to give me shit for number 4. We have Modern Baseball. They're an emo band, John, but they have elements of pop punk big time lining their music. Just listen to some of their songs. No, not every single one of them. Sure, emo is probably the best way to describe them, or else alternative, but pop punk is still there in the musicianship and even the lyrical content as well. Like I was just talking about on my last pick, I feel like Modern Baseball are so down to earth and something that is so relatable on a lot of different levels, whether it be talking about going to a party, feeling alone, not knowing exactly how to kiss a girl. Everything from sports to Holy Ghost is fantastic. You're Gonna Miss It All is the album that got me into them a couple of years back. Apartment is still my favorite Modern Baseball song to date. These guys have such a good presence to them. They're one of those bands that do kind of have that DIY feel about them, but at the same time, you know that they're smart, calculated, and know where they're going. I think Modern Baseball have a long career ahead of them, especially with critics really getting behind them, praising their records, and as they continue to mature their sound, I'm sure that they're going to continue putting out great material.
I spent this year as a ghost, and I'm not sure what I'm looking for. A voice on a phone that you read me answer anymore. I can't hear alone, can't hear alone. It doesn't scare me like it did. I spent this year as a ghost, and I'm not sure where home is anymore.
Number 3, The Wonder Years. Dan Soupy Campbell is one of the most unique voices in the scene and the world of pop punk music. He really stands out and sells this band because he writes about not only hardships and lost friends, but also stories from the past. On The Greatest Generation, he kind of explored a lot of older things and people growing up, and he kind of had a retrospective attitude whenever it came to writing music, especially for a few albums. And then they released their album No Closer to Heaven in 2015, and that's really what got me hooked on this band. There's so many great songs on there that are so powerful. You can just lose yourself in emotional moments like Cardinals, or of course Cigarettes and Saints as well, or even a song for Patsy Cline. Just the opening moments of that song get me every single time. I've gone back, checked out a lot of their earlier material, and I have to say that I started getting into them more with their 2011 record, and then fast forward to 2013 and even 2015, I started connecting more and more. So I think whatever they put out next, which they just started teasing, they said that they are in the studio as of January 1st, 2017. Let's see what this new album holds for us.
Let's get together and be green like my insides. At least I'll match your eyes, jealous and hypnotized. Let's match our faces and be equally in love. Hey, tell me what you want me to say. You know I'm stupid for you.
Make pop punk fun again. That's exactly what Waterparks are doing, and I am 110% on board. This band has been active since 2013. They put out a couple of EPs independently before signing to Equal Vision Records and putting out another EP. That's right, 3 EPs before we got the full-length Double Dare just at the end of last year. Their EPs didn't quite strike a chord with me, but they are a little bit weirder, a little bit out there, a little bit more experimental for pop punk, a little bit maybe more on the pop and electronic side of things, but that's what makes them so damn interesting and captivating to me. Double Dare is an album that I keep coming back to over and over and over again, all the way from Hawaii Stay Awake to Gloom Boys to the catchy as fuck Royal, and of course Stupid for You. I don't even want to know my Spotify play count on that one because it has me hooked still to this day. It's like somebody slipped the hook in right here and just pulled me straight to the ground. I'm okay with that. I'm not complaining, and I'm going to keep recommending and coming back to Waterparks over and over again. I hope you guys have checked them out at this point. I know I put them pretty high on my best songs of the year, my best albums of the year, but here, if you needed another push, here's a shove. Go check them out. We're finally here at my number 1 pick for my favorite pop punk band of modern times, and I have to give it to the UK band Neck Deep. These guys are doing things right. They really carry on the torch of older bands from the 2000s. A lot more, I would say, on the punk side of things, especially when it comes to the fantastic drumming, the guitar riffs on this thing, and the catchy as hell vocals that are definitely rough around the edges, but at the same time easy to sing along to. Neck Deep really started putting things together with their debut album Wishful Thinking, which had great songs like Growing Pains and a few others that I did keep coming back to, but it wasn't until Life's Not Out to Get You in 2015 that I really fell in love with this band. I saw what they were doing with Gold Steps, Kali Ma, and wait, how could I forget the unforgettable Can't Kick Up the Roots? What is wrong with me? How did you almost skip over that one, John? Neck Deep are gonna get stuck in your head as they make you fall in love with their memorable lyrical content, the strong guitars, and the striking drums and bass combos like I was already talking about earlier in this little summation here. I think Neck Deep are easily worth your time, and if you're kind of a casual fan of them, have heard a few songs, I highly recommend digging into the 2 albums that they've put out so far. And that's a wrap on my favorite modern pop punk bands. Be sure to remember that this was just my list. Let me know about a few of your favorites in the comments section down below. Maybe let me know what you think about my picks, if there's some bands you think I should check out, and maybe I have already checked them out. I mean, I've checked out the likes of Like Pacific, Broadside, With Confidence. Can't say I'm that into any of those bands, but at the same time, I do respect them a little bit more than some of the others that I've heard that really just seem to be trying to cash in on, oh, it's pop punk, let's put some pop punk lyrics and try to make it very pop punky. Whew! Be sure to leave a like on the video today, guys, and subscribe to the channel because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If there's other videos that you'd like to see me do for SOS, sound off in the comments section. If you'd like to see the last episode I did about underrated Paramore songs, click here, or that vinyl subscription parody I was talking about, click here. My social media is all linked in the description down below, most active on Twitter. Other than that, I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.